Stoy, everybody. How are you guys doing? It is like almost mid of damn December already, but welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Gymnastics is for Everyone podcast featuring Michaela Loves Gymnastics. I'm thinking of changing this show to Stoy with Michaela Loves Gymnastics. That's kind of like my catchphrase. Why haven't I never used that for the show title? Anyways, we have returning guest co-host Oscar is on the line.
Hi.
And we have two possible people who will be joining us tonight. We have returning, first time on my solo show, but they used to come on We Love Gymnastics a lot. Brody should be on sometime. And John said he would come on too. So we should have a packed house tonight. We should have a fun show. How are you doing in New York, Oscar? Is it cold up there, friend?
Yes, it's too cold for me. Even in my bed, I'm cold. Under my big comforter.
Cool. So tonight, you guys, we are going to do the never-ending saga of who's going to make the Olympic team and how do they fit on the Olympic team, because until the Olympic team is announced, that's what we do the year leading up to the Olympics. Every week, you come up with a new prediction. Somebody posts them doing some new skill on bars. You add them to your team, and you take somebody. So we're doing that today. The main meats and potato of the conversation, though, as y'all can see in the title, we're going to go back to 1998. I feel like 1998 is a very important year in gymnastics. I feel like it really changed the direction of the USA team, because I feel like if there was a World Championships in 1998, because the USA were so good in 1998, I think it would have totally changed the whole dynamic of that quad. We wouldn't look at it as the failure if 1998 happened. If they would have been successful in 1998, I think it would have continued on through the quad. So we're going to talk about that. I guess some schools are having their interquads in NCAA and they're posting videos, so we could talk about that.
Okay.
And that seems to be about it. You know, not a lot of gymnastics stuff happened this week.
Well, there was that.
I think there was a competition, but I didn't pay it no attention.
Which one are you talking about?
I know the Russians had a competition, and there was another competition.
Yeah,
let's see if we can
talking about the Russians.
Yeah. Brody.
Hi, Brody.
Brody, are you there?
Oh, by the way, you should definitely. I love that you using Stoy for the title.
I know, right? It just hit me like as I was just jumping on, like, why haven't you ever did that? Okay. So let's start off with what everybody wants to talk about, which is going to be the Olympic team, the USA Olympic team.
You don't think we should save that for when they come on, or are we? Is it not?
Okay. Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right, friend. You're right. Let's start off with the NCAA. Let's start off with the NCAA. The NCAA. Okay, I think Brody is back. Hold on. Brody. I just leave his screen up, so whenever he gets ready to talk, he can talk. So,
Okay.
yeah,
right?
Yeah, we can hear you. How you doing, friend?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why this shit is not working. Like, this shit is crazy.
It be like that sometimes. How have you been?
Yeah, I don't know. This shit is bugging. But yeah, I've been all right. Y'all can hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, like, I don't know. Like, I haven't been on like social media. Like, I don't know. Like, I usually like get depressed around this time of the year. So,
Same.
Yeah, yeah. The holidays can be a depressing time
Yeah,
of the
I
year.
don't.
So, Brody, I know you are like the biggest Simone Biles fan that I know. How do you feel that her year went?
That her what went?
How do you feel that her
Her
year
year?
went this year? Yes.
2023.
I mean, it went good. Like, um, I don't know. There's not really anything I could really say about it, but I mean, she came back and she dominated everything. So
How do you
she
feel
finally
about
got that vault named after her.
this Rebecca Andrade? Do you think she's close to catching Simone? Do you
Is
feel like
This shit is
Rebecca
breaking up.
Andrade is close to catching Simone?
I mean, I guess if Simone like start bucking on floor again, like when she was just going out of bounds and doing all that crazy shit, yes. But if she stay in bounds and have like good landings, absolutely not.
did it bother you that Rebecca beat Simone in the vault final?
No, because Simone fell. So it
Do
is what
you
it
think
is. I mean,
Simone
she fell and safety's first. So
should keep doing the Yurchenko double pipe vault?
no,
What
no,
about
because
the triple double
yeah, I don't.
floor and the double double up and bars?
Honestly, she really don't need none of that shit to win. To be honest, like, I mean, obviously, it like showed this year that she did not need a triple double or a double double off bars. Just, I feel like she should just keep everything the same and just, continue to like work on her landings, and she should be good.
Agreed.
And I saw a comment that said that she should get like another vault named after her. But honestly, I don't think there's anything left to get named after her. Like what else
And
can she do? Like a Yachinko double tuck? Like I don't.
I think she could
There's
do
like nothing left.
the the chum with the extra twist, right?
the churn with the full twist, I think that's the vault that people want her to do.
Yeah.
Like her Biles vault, Biles one.
Her bows one with
I don't
another
know.
half.
If I'm talking loud, it's because I'm
No, you're good.
like so a half on 2.5 off or something like that.
Yeah, that's what
Yes.
the vault
A
people want
half
her to
on
do.
2.5 off. I don't know. Maybe it's just too much twisting. I don't know. You just never know. Girl, just
What
keep
about,
everything the same. Fuck it. Like,
does she need the Aminal?
I mean,
She has to do something as a
she
second
gonna
vault.
have to if she's not gonna. Yeah, she has to. Like
Why can't she do a DTY?
at this point. I
She could.
mean, well then that means that she gonna have to work on her form on her ching if she want to win, because that's not possible. If Rebecca is doing both of those vaults like extremely like well, then I don't.
I
Yeah,
think
it's just not gonna make sense.
she wants to clean that up regardless, the chum, for next year.
Yeah, she's
I could see them giving
yeah.
Simone a
Once she get her
five.
like form back,
If Simone does a DTY and stick it, I could see them giving Simone a 5 on that vault. A perfect 15.
I don't think so. Yeah, right. Like
Maybe, I
I
don't
think
know.
her highest is probably going to be like a 14.4. Oh shit, it's a cop.
Think of how few
Yeah, I
gymnasts
think her highest on the D.
scored a 15 for their double twist last in the Tokyo quad. Like Shilese did at trials or nationals, maybe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but it's crazy as fuck how people be scoring 13s on a DTY. Like that's like crazy to me. But
I hit DTY like a 13 set.
I mean, honestly, like Rebecca is like the only gymnast that could go over like a 14.5 on that ball. So.
Jordan got a 14.5 in 2022.
I'm talking about internationally. I don't think really like internationally. Did she get that like at Worlds or?
It was the vault event final, I think.
Yeah, they was giving Jordan, and I think Jordan. I think I never seen Simone do a DTY. I think once.
She did it as a junior.
Yeah, I mean, Simone.
She did that shit like once as a junior, and she was doing Aminards as a junior. Like, what the fuck? That was crazy.
That's when the United States used to be United States of the Aminard, baby. Like
Lexi Priestman and Kyla Ross.
Yeah, they was. Marta was trying to make the Arminard a standard American vault.
That bitch was crazy.
She got her what? She got her 3 Aminards in team final at the Olympics.
Well, she had 3 Arminards in 2012, and then she had 2 in 2016. So I mean,
but all 3 of those juniors were closer to and they were doing that.
How do you feel about Gabby's return, Brody? I've never talked to you about that yet.
Honestly, I mean, I never ever in my life like watched her perform, but it would be nice to see her next year. I could tell you what, next year is gonna be my last time going because it's just too expensive. Like I just don't have the time to be like traveling across the world every year for nationals, and it's just too much money. I just can't be doing that shit no more. Like,
yeah.
If I do go, it's gonna be the year. If I do go, it's gonna be the year of the Olympics. So, you know, but I'm not going to be. Yeah.
That makes sense because it's expensive, and then like. Trying to go to the NCAA nationals every year and trying to go to elite nationals every year is like, I'm pretty sure for a long time it was doable for a lot of people, but in 2023 it's just not.
Which is your priority, Michaela?
Trials. This year in 2024, I want to go to trials. That's my priority.
Elite is more important. Going to an elite.
Yeah, this year because it's the Olympic season.
What about last year?
I really wanted to go to NCAA nationals. NCAA nationals are fun.
Okay. That makes me want to go more.
That shit is corny. I'm sorry. Like, you would never catch me at no NCAA meet, like, ever.
Yeah, Brody doesn't like the NCAA.
Like, at all. Like, period.
I realize a lot of y'all don't like the NCAA. I don't. I'm not gonna say I don't like it. I love the NCAA. I just like the teams that I like. So outside of Florida, OU, UCLA, I don't really. LSU, minor league. I'm not gonna follow.
Have you given this any thought about where the Olympics, the gymnastics would be in 2028 in LA? And will like UCLA just be like making so much money, all of their trainers? Like
I think it would have to be at the Pauley Pavilion, like unless we're going to build a whole new stadium in Los Angeles just for a gymnastics competition, which I don't see.
So but the recruiting, like those scholarships, are going to be even more lucrative and desirable, right? For those years, the girls who will be on the team.
I think with the NCAA now, the girls are running to where they can make the most money. I think that's why we see so many girls going to LSU, because in Louisiana, the NIL laws are so loose compared to other places. So
And Livy, right? Or does it have less to do with her?
I think because of Livy and the way they're, because in every state, I realized that the NIL is different in every state. So every state has different laws of how much the athletes are allowed to make. So, like the University of Louisiana, LSU, no, I think it's Louisiana State, whatever it is, LSU, they can throw tons of money at their athletes where other schools they're not allowed to. They can throw some money at their girls, but not as much as like in Louisiana. So
Is Louisiana the most? I would think
I believe so.
up there also.
I
Wow.
believe so. And then other states it's very restrictive. Like
You know about Florida?
I think it's somewhere in the middle. I don't think it's that strict. I don't think it's that it's not as loose as LSU, but it's not that strict either.
I just hope everybody stay healthy next year.
I hope the NCAA doesn't ruin Leanne Wan's chances of making the Olympic team.
I just have a feeling. I don't know. I just got a feeling like she gonna be an alternate again. Like I don't know. Like,
and the routines that she's working on, everybody is loving it, but to me, they're still not hard enough. Like, and I feel like Leanne could do top elite level difficulty if she just would tell the University of Florida, "Hut up, ho! I'll see y'all next year."
I can see her burning out, but I also
is
think
Kayla?
she's like changing the foundation of the routine, so that if she.
Which is why I believe she wants to compete so much, because she really is changing all of the shit that Gage taught her.
So she's gonna have a higher potential with these new changes.
But it's the.
She's not there yet, but she still has room for the upgrades.
She
What
has
is Kayla doing? Like, is she going back to college?
No, she took a year off.
And she's training Lopez vault and like a.
I think the Mustafina. I think that's the vault she's going for, because she landed the Lopez and did another half turn. That seems to be she's trying to go for a Mustafina.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, agree.
All right, I'm just gonna go back to like watching y'all because I'm driving. I just wanted to hop on because I know when I get in the house, everybody gonna be loud as fuck. So I don't want to talk, So I'm gonna just continue watching y'all. Thing.
All right, friend. Thank you.
All right, y'all.
Bye. Talk to you soon.
So it's going to be. I think the team that is going to suffer the most is UCLA, because their top girl, Jordan Child, is going to be out next year.
What do you mean, suffer from the Olympics or?
Yeah, because Jordan took a year off to try for the Olympics too.
I know, but the team that's going to suffer the most from what?
Missing girls trying for the Olympics. Because they're also, I think, isn't Brooklyn and Anna also taking a year off trying for the Canadian team?
Oh, I hadn't heard about Brooklyn. Just Anna, but that'd be great. I like both of them. And Canada could use both of them, I bet.
Very much. Very, very, very much.
Did you watch the new Gymcastic video?
I started it. I haven't finished it yet.
Did you get to the part where they're like they're joking about selling people who don't follow NCAA to try to get into the sport, and
Yeah, I heard that part when they was on the elevator.
they're listing all the they're listing off the top of their head. It seems like a lot of former elite gymnasts or current elite gymnasts who do NCAA, and they like list so many, but they don't list Emma Spence. Did she graduate, or did they just not think of her? Because she's like a bronze medalist, and I feel like they're such big fans of Canada and Canadian gymnasts. I was
Didn't
surprised.
she go to like Nebraska or something like that?
That's what I thought, but I thought maybe she had graduated or something.
I'm not sure, but I'm sure they just didn't think of her because Nebraska isn't one of the top schools.
Yeah.
And Nisha says that there's a video of Brooklyn at on campus, so it must just be Anna. But Anna's still
Brooklyn. She did like she did a Rudy. Sorry, that's it.
But the NCAA, they're going to have a lot of girls who are trying to make the Olympics. They're going to have a lot of girls who.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, just most of them, I think, are. Wait, what is the majority doing? If I wish we had broken it down before the show.
I know, right? Emma Mawabua, I'm not saying her name right. Emma is trying for the Olympics for the Philippines. So that's another UCLA girl who has dual priorities this season.
Yeah, I don't know about any of the Philippines. I guess is Levi deferring or going to Stanford? Is
Sure.
Aaliyah taking a year off?
No, Aaliyah is going to compete and then try for the Olympics. Because I think Aaliyah already qualified for the Olympics, so she's good.
Yes, she did. What about like an Anya Pilgrim? Has Luisa Blanco graduated?
Yes. And I know she qualified. Anna is competing at Florida right now, so I don't know what Anna got. I don't think Anna qualified for the Olympics, though.
I don't think so either.
So maybe she doesn't have dual priorities. But I do disagree with them on this. I think this is the wrong year to try to get people into the NCAA, even though I think this year it's going to be a great season. Like I said, almost every season, right, the year of the Olympics is like legendary, but a lot of the big names that people typically tune in for aren't going to be there. They're going to be trying for the Olympics. So I don't think it's next year is the year to try to get people into the NCAA again who was not into it this year, in my opinion.
I see how it could be more effective, but I don't think it's a bad thing to do it now.
No.
Naya Reid. Sorry, I just remembered her. I got so excited. She's probably one of the gymnasts I'm most excited to watch about in the whole NCAA.
I wonder what UCLA got up their sleeve with this girl, because they have another Yurchenko 1.5 that they desperately needed.
What did you think about Morgan Hurd's floor routine? And Florida doing a lot of 2-pass routines on floor.
I understand why people are switching over in NCAA to 2 passes, right? But NCAA already have this reputation of, this is probably why Brody and a lot of people don't watch the NCAA, because they feel like it's a lower level competition, and 2-pass floor routines aren't doing anything to change that perception. Once again, I understand why. Why do 3 passes when you can get a 10.0 start value with 2? I understand why. It's just, it's not doing anything to If you're gonna do two pass marine, then I'm gonna need a dance passage. I'm gonna need a switch ring through to a torture take or something because it just looks so empty with two passes. Like
I think Morgan had a dance passage,
I
but
think
I'm not sure.
they're just the routines. They just look so empty. Converse versus an elite where most people are doing four passes to drop all the way down to two passes. You're not doing no turns. You're not doing no big dance skills. Like it just looks.
Especially if you're not a great dancer.
Especially if you're not a great dancer, especially if your floor routine is already kind of cheesy, like it.
What can I? Here's a random question. When was the last time that the Yurchenko half twist, the Yurchenko Arabian laid out, was a 10.0 vault?
94.
So what was it? The next quad, the next two coda points.
Well, they changed it in the middle of the 93 to 96 coda points. It started off as a 10, and then halfway through, they was like, no, 9.9. And then after that, after 96 to 97 through 2000 coda points, I think it was valued at a 9.4. Maybe a 9.6. It was valued at a 9.6.
And so what about in NCAA?
It used to be a 10, but when they devalued the Yurchenko full, they devalued that vault too.
Do you remember when that was?
I think it was after 2012, going into 2013 season for the NCAA. I think it's
So has the to this day, is that a harder vault than doing just a laid out?
an
Yurchenko?
half.
Doing a half turn is harder than doing a laid out, no twists.
I think a half turn is harder than the Yurchenko full, so yes.
No, it makes sense. I get the feeling it's not based off of fact that the Yurchenko laid out has been undervalued at some point. Like it should be a fine vault to compete. You shouldn't be like penalized for doing the Yurchenko layout beautifully, you know? I don't know, maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about. It's just how I feel.
You just talking about a round off bat, flip on, layout bat.
But like done to deserve a 10, the way that people would try to do a half twist. And I get that blind landings are more difficult for most gymnasts, but when that vault was competitively valued, I think that it should have been just like a 10. I don't know. I think I need to look at the start values. I need to better inform myself about this. Because you look like you're on a different page.
I'm confused. Like, are you talking about an NCAA? Like a
Well, I think so, but I'm more familiar with the elite start values from like the 90s when people were doing the Yurchenko. Who does like an Arabian since in the 2020s in NCAA?
Not a lot of people. I could think. I can't think of anybody.
Because it starts out of like a low. It has a low tariff, right?
I think it starts correctly. What I feel like in the NCAA is that and this is the issue with the 10.0 quota points because once something is worth a 10, everything else harder than it is also going to be worth a 10. So it's like, why do something harder than do your Chinko 1.5 when everything beyond that is. I don't even understand why people do the Yurchenko 1.5s and why people don't do a handspring front half, which is also worth a 10, or uh, half twist or the tuck version of the Horikina, because that's also worth a 10. Like
The tucked version of the which Corkina? The one that's already tucked?
or the Poca Pie Ava, the tuck version of the Poca Pie Ava.
Right. Oh, isn't that what Suni did for a minute?
Grace was doing it for a minute too.
Yeah. That's what
I feel like that's the vault Jade she used this year so she could fix her half turn entry.
just like give it everything she has in the block.
Mm-hmm.
And she could do a what she's doing, a round off, half on, tuck tap off.
Mm-hmm.
Why not just a half on, laid out front flip?
Landing.
Like she wouldn't score well, or it would be scary, or it wouldn't be helpful for the Chung, or what? All of the above.
Stick that vault every year would be hard on her knees and stuff. That's why I'm giving her half on, half off insurance, so she won't have to do a full forward landing.
I feel like most of the gymnasts aren't able to like really give their all in their half on blocks the way that some of the gymnasts really. Yeah, I mean, this is nothing new, but some girls really struggle with the blocks, and I appreciate the ones who get them right.
Well, a lot of girls aren't taught the correct half on technique. They're just chunking vaults around. So
Yeah.
Look at damn poor Michaela Skinner. Like I just never understood how her coaches could let her compete that vault. Like it literally was on one arm. Weren't they ever afraid that she was gonna break her arm just doing it on one arm? Like it was.
Yeah, that type of thing also, like, I would think it brings on injuries, like having unequal support and stuff like that.
Well, for Michaela Skinner, it didn't bring on an injury. It gave her a stupid lack of gymnastics knowledge that she carried on through her whole career. Because I'm sorry, like I don't understand how USA Gymnastics could look at her coaches, look at her doing that vault, and believe that her coaches believe that they were teaching her how to do this vault correctly. Like I hate that with USA Gymnastics. Every so often we will get a coach who will create a new technique, but it's a different little cheat. And for a while, the little cheat works, but then one day the FIG be like, hell no, and then they lay the hammer down.
Yeah, and that's not just a USA thing. I'm sorry, but do you remember when Skinner was like gaslighting everyone and rebranding in like, was it 2020 or 2021 before the Olympics? She was like, I fixed my block, like in the pandemic or the shutdown.
Mm-hmm.
And I really thought that she had improved it. And maybe she had, but then she just like ditched it with actual.
What happened is when she was actually trying to do the chung with the correct block, she couldn't get it around. So they went back to doing it they tried to cheat the technique around. It was like, oh, so all we have to do is touch with both hands. She doesn't really have to push off with both hands. So then she started doing the whole touching with one hand but pushing with the other hand thing that she did in damn Tokyo, which is also like.
blind spot in the code of points, the rules. Not the code.
No, because as soon as at the very next quad, they made a rule about that one-handed block shit. So
Right, it's like a point.
and for did you see the video of Jimlandia reading her about damn, Johnny, I just made that point and you just put it in the comment section. Yes, I did. I'm sorry, Michaela Skinner, like, girl, like, troll. Okay, so.
Wait, what was the receipts he had me really weak. He was just pulling out all the falls that I had forgotten about from the 2016 season, like domestic competitions.
I do want to sit up here and say this, though, when he said, somebody said it. No, it was me who said this. I want this to be clear that this came from Michaela Lustrom's mouth. This is why I know it's an act of racism against Gabrielle Douglas with Michaela Skinner and her account. Because if the issue is people placing ahead of her at Olympic trials is why she's attacking Gabby Douglas so hard. I mean, I'm sorry. People who she beats at Olympic trials getting put on teams ahead of her. If that's her issue, why she's not cussing out Grace McCallum? Because she beat Grace McCallum in 2021 trials, and she was on the higher scoring team over Grace McCallum, and Tom still put Grace on the team over her. So why don't she give Grace McCallum that same energy that she gave Gabby? Why doesn't she give Madison Cochin that same energy that she gave Gabby? Because Madison Cochin also beat Madison Cochin in the 2016 Olympic trials, and Madison Cochin also was named to the team over her. Where's that smoke?
Maybe she didn't understand how much better Gabby was at bars than her.
But that's my issue with Michaela Skinner's whole team, that they let her believe, for whatever reason, these things that just are not true and are not possible. But with that being said, hi everybody, hi Johnny, hi everybody in the chat. I want to shift gears for a brief second and go back in time to a time that a lot of y'all probably was not even born.
No.
Way back to 1998 and that season. And I want to go back to a comment that I think RJ made earlier when we first got on.
About B. Wenzing.
Yes. What y'all have to understand about the 1998 year, which there was no world championships. That's why I created the video. Well, I've been creating my series, what if there was a world championships that year? Because I feel like in that quad in 1998 was Team USA's strongest team of that quad. That was the quad where they finally had a relatively healthy Dominique Moceanu, a completely healthy Vanessa Adler, who would hit that bar routine about 30% of the time. Now, 30% of the time was real low, but that was more than she was doing the rest of them years. So,
hey, and I think it's fair to add that for all we know, they could have been a lot stronger in the last 2 years if they had a successful 1998 Worlds.
Correct. And that's the whole point of, not the whole point of, but one of the points of the videos over the last few days is because I'm trying to prove that in 1998, Team USA could have put up a team that could have scored enough to win Worlds. Now, did I count falls? No. Did I count mistakes? No. Was I giving everybody credit for everything that they was possibly trying to throw? Yes. Was that going to be or what was going to happen? No. But I'm just saying that they could have put up a team that could have challenged in 2000 and not 2000 in 1998, and I truly believe with a healthy Dominique Moceanu, which they had, Vanessa Atler, which they had, who was at her peak in 1998, Kristen Maloney, who was also at her peak. Hell, I'm going to go back and even say Dominique Moceanu probably was at her peak in 1998. Kristen Maloney was at her peak in 1998. Vanessa Atler was in her peak in 1998. Jenny Thompson, another one who was probably at her peak in 1998. And then you have the other girls who weren't quite there, who weren't quite ready yet, but who was getting ready to contribute to the team, such as like Elise Ray. Elise Ray was nowhere near where she was at in 2000, but her bars was right. Her bars was right and ready.
That was a 10.0 routine.
Yeah, her bars was right and ready.
Where was Amy Chow in 1998?
Somewhere still on tour with the Magnificent Seven, making money over there with their tour. Like doing,
staying somewhat in shape.
Staying in shape, going to college, not doing college gymnastics, but just, taking her courses at Stanford. I think that's where she went.
She chose not to compete.
No, she went very professional. After she got her gold and silver medal after the Olympics, she went very professional.
Hey, Michaela, why was there no World Championships in 1998 after there being one in 1991, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97?
Well, if you remember, back in those years, the Worlds used to only be every 2 years, actually. And in the middle, so it's going back to after 84, there was a Worlds in 85. There was no Worlds in 86. There was a Worlds in 87. There was no Worlds in 88. There was a Worlds in 89. There was no Worlds in 90. There was a Worlds in 91. There was no Worlds in 90. The very first time they broke that tradition was they created a World Championships in 1992.
Paris.
Correct. So then that was the first year where Worlds wasn't every other year. So then they had a Worlds in 1992. So then they tried to break it up or whatever. So in 1993, they only did an individual World. So that's what they were trying to do. They were trying. That was the first year where they did what we are used to now, where they would do an individual Worlds.
What about 92? There was no. It was
just event finals World.
Did you say why they added that? Why they had Worlds that year? Just events.
I really have no idea. Just the FIG doing stuff.
At 93, it was all around and events, no team.
Yeah, what we're used to now. Except, but in 1994, I don't know why they split it. I guess they felt like the all-around championships and the team championships was two different events, so they tried to make it two different things. But
I wouldn't mind that happening.
Yeah, no, I absolutely mind that. That was horrible. Like,
why? What was the bad part?
They did that all-around Worlds at the beginning of the year. It was the first event of the year, right? So
Shannon just needed to hold on.
Shannon just needed to hold on. Dominique just wasn't ready at the beginning of that year, because if they would have did the regular Worlds, a team event finals and all around at one time at the end of the year like normal, I think Dominique Dawes would have been the world champion, because about time team championships came around, if you look at her performance at team championships, she was ready. She won the all around there basically, but there was no all around competition.
It was 90 were the years 93 and 94 when she was in first after 3 rotations at Worlds?
Yes.
So even in that like not great state that you said, she was doing that well at Worlds in 94.
Correct.
She could have been world champion, or no?
If they would have held Worlds at the end of the year like normal, I absolutely believe it wouldn't have been a coulda. She would have been world champion. There would have been no question.
Oh, you don't see her 94 because both times it was vault, right? And you don't see her 94 vault as a fluke. Like, I think she could have done it better at that competition.
I think if it was later on in the year.
No, at that competition, you think that's the best she could have done?
Absolutely not. No. But I'm just saying, I think if they would have held Worlds at the end of the year, I think she would have been ready to, just mentally. Gymnastics was way.
She would have been way even better. But
correct.
She could have done enough on vault at the time of the individual Worlds to have become world champion? Or what was the best she could have placed in your eyes?
Oh, no, she would have won if not fallen.
Okay. Which year did she not fall? 93? She just stumbled really bad? Or she
fell both years. One year she under-rotated it. I think that was 93. And 94, she really over-rotated it. But see, what I'm saying is, in the very last competition of 93 was Worlds. The very first competition in 94 was Worlds. That's what I'm saying.
Yes. Like Shannon just had to hold on long beginning or whatever.
So she just fell at her last competition on vault. So the very first competition again of the year at vault again. Like I feel like if it would have gave her more time to be more confident on vault, she would have had American Cup title won. She would have had Nationals won. She would have had all of those other competitions she had in between that year won. And then it would have brought her confidence up going into the 94 season, which she would have won. But with all of that being said, the next squad, they went back to the old rules. So in 97, there was a full Worlds. In 98, there was no Worlds. In 99, there was a full World. In 2000, there.
Did you say why there was Worlds in 96 and not 2000?
Again, I don't know. The same reason the FIG made Worlds in 92, just trying some shit. Same thing though. It was just an individual World. I think Dominique won bronze on beam that year.
Would you mind having individual Worlds?
No, all around just individuals.
The year of the Olympics, yes.
I wouldn't mind if the year after the Olympics was just an individual Worlds, no all-around competition. Just.
So what's wrong with bringing back the Worlds of the years of the Olympics?
I think now logistically it's too much because even the girls was complaining about the little test event they used to do, that it was too much right before the Olympics.
I don't know, but I'm sure some of the girls are like, yay, another chance to compete in medal.
I'm sure some of the girls were, but then what's the point of having a world championship if the top athletes don't want to attend? They want to not do it and try for the Olympics.
Really? You think every single gymnast is gonna say that? They're gonna be like, yeah, it would have been nicer to beat the best, but I'm gonna keep my world silver medal or world gold medal.
No, I completely hear what you're saying. It's just, to me, in my opinion, it's just a lot to ask of the people too.
It is
prepare for Worlds. It just depends on when it is. Because again, before in '96, I think the Olympics was sometime in like August. I remember the Olympics being in August.
Yes, and also in 92 and 96, like not every single star from those went to who went not every star from the who went to the Olympics went to the Worlds that year. So it is kind of optional for some of the Olympics. You don't have to peak at both or do both.
No. But then in 2001 they had a 4 worlds. In 2002 they just did an they didn't do a world. It wasn't an all-around competition, it was just event finals. In 2003 there was a 4 worlds.
Weren't there semifinals in 2002? Or is that just what they called the qualifications that year?
I think that's just what they call qualifications.
I thought it was like a pool. When I watched the qualifications for that Worlds, it's always like, it's not like they had like it seems like they did have a preliminary competition because it's like, okay, the top 48 have qualified. She's made it to the top 48 or top 24 or something, but she still hasn't made it to the final.
I'm not sure how they would do it because I'm just not sure because it seemed every time I watch that world, it seems more like a World Cup than like a World Championship.
In which ways?
Because it was an individuals. Individual worlds are cool, but I think they should be calling them because again, back in the day, going back in time, the years that they didn't have a World Championships, they had a one big World Cup. Now they had
They were different ones, right?
So they had the different one, but they had you know how in figure skating, if anybody watch figure skating, how they have the Grand Prix series where they do 6 events or 7 events around the world or whatever. Then whoever wins those events or whoever scores whatever points goes to the Grand Prix final.
It's like how Jade got to the Olympics.
Correct. They would do something like that the year of the Worlds, where they would do you go to this World Cup, you go to this World Cup, you got this score. Okay, you qualified to the Grand World Cup final at the end of the year, and they would do that in between Worlds, which I liked, and I wish they would bring back. And they also, in between Worlds, used to do the Goodwill Games.
Don't they do that? Or are you saying you want that in the specific year? There is still a World Cup series.
I want them to do a World Cup series, but if they're going, I want them to do it like that in the year where they do Worlds every year now, so that's not an option. So
wait, well, they could do it the year of the Olympics. Are you saying you wish that there was a World Cup final?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that'd be so cute. All the girls who did the best at the World Cup series.
Yeah.
Is that the format of the Chunichi Cup or whatever? I might be mispronouncing that, sorry.
I'm not sure. I think that's the format they use for the Italian Serie A.
Do you know if I've said that right? You know what I'm talking about? From the 1990?
I have no idea.
Oh gosh. It was I thought Tatiana Lysenko won it. It's in Japan or Russia up there. It's a very famous competition.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know everything.
No, but I'm surprised that you don't know this because you know so much. And I ask you all my questions.
Let me tell you, I know competitions starting from 1994 and beyond. Before 94, there's lots of competitions that I've missed that are burnt, especially Pan Ams. Every time somebody upload a new Pan Am from the 80s, I love it.
Oh.
So, we just went into a whole ramble. So let me finish the ramble off then. So finish the rambles off. So in 1990, I'm sorry, in 2005 was the first time they had an individual worlds with an all-around competition. That's a lie because they did it in 1993. So in 1990,
sorry.
So in 2005, they brought back that same format they used in the 93 to 96 quad, except but no Olympics the year of the Olympics, but it is all around individual worlds the year after the Olympics, worlds, Olympics. And that has been the format they've used ever since.
Sorry, is my internet getting bad?
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Okay.
So going back, so in 1998, they did not have a world championship. They had a Goodwill Games. And in all honesty, in my opinion, the Goodwill Games was the world championships that year. They just didn't have a team competition, but it was the best athletes in the world at that competition.
Did you know that there was a Chunichi Cup all the way until 2004, and there was one in 1998, and Karpenko won it?
Well, I believe that.
And Evgenia Kuznetsova from Russia, who switched to competing for Bulgaria in 2002 or whatever at Worlds, won the silver, and Olga Teslenko beat Prudinova for third.
Now, what I was learned about the 1998 Russian team, I did not know Zamo was a senior. That's the year she turned senior and was competing for Russia in 1998. I also go ahead.
I said I also didn't know that. I was just reacting.
No, I thought she turned senior in 99, but no, she turned senior in 98. There just was no world, so we didn't see her on the world stage. Like,
she was such an amazing young gymnast. Like, I would have been so excited, I think, to see her first 3 years, because she was still doing crazy difficulty at the end of her career, but it really did kind of it was just a slow downward trajectory the rest of her career. After champion.
Unlike Chuso, who her progression of her skills have been so. That's how Chuso has really been able to hold on. We can see it now. The progression of her skills are deteriorated enough where you be like, okay, Chuso, it might be time for you to retire, girl. But it took Chuso a long time to get to that point.
Yeah.
Zamo was great for it was all of the 2000 quad. Then the 2004 quad, she still was good. But then that 2008 quad, you can see the progression of her skill set slowly deteriorate very quickly.
Yeah, and she was whatever that. Yes, I think she also was executing, not just executing. She was doing less difficult stuff. It was all just going down. But the first 3 years of her career, she was so powerful and so extraordinary. And the commentators were dragging her every time I saw her on the screen for her form or her extension. But she was just giving you all the difficulty with not terrible form for today's standards at all.
Oh, she would have killed under this code of points. She would have killed. Nobody would have been. She would have been Simone because nobody was doing a double in that. Damn 2000s.
I was surprised that, but it also made sense because I didn't really remember that she was doing the double in 99. I thought she started in 2000. So, but in all of the videos from 2000 that I've watched, and I've watched more of those than her 1999 floor routines, the commentators are blasé about her doing the double-double. When I'm like, who was the last, like, was it a Soviet? The Soviet who did it? Like, the last gymnast you saw or doing this skill? Like, but maybe it's just because she's been doing it for like 1 or 2 years already. I don't know.
Because when she was doing it in '99, they were gagged. That's what she did.
Because I wanted the commentators to be gagged, and they weren't.
When she was in '99, they were gagged. So, in 1998, we also have to remember Svetlana Horkina was not the gymnast that she was in '97, or was she in 2000?
I left a comment on your video about this. I said, please explain what you mean by this, and could you please share some of your like decision-making thought processes on the rankings?
First of all, Horkina was you see how low the videos, that's how low she started landing her vaults, right? And then about time 99 came around, it was even worse. So in 2000s, they just had to teach her new vaults because like those vaults just was not happening for her. Like,
I think that she was landing them just as low in like 1994. But
it wasn't, the deduction wasn't there for the low chest positions and stuff. Like they changed the rules that far.
Okay. I misunderstood, sorry.
So whereas most people who was doing 9.9 vaults were scoring somewhere around 9.7, 9.6, Horkina doing a 9.9 vault was scoring somewhere between 9.4 and 9.2. So that's one of the issues with Horkina. Now her bars was her bars. She was going to score above 9.8 on bars. But then we go to beam, where
the bars you with the routine you posted was beautiful.
Yes, I love it.
Leo, what competition was that?
The 1998 Goodwill Games event finals.
Okay. You're obviously really familiar with this competition.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites.
I love the recommendation.
Oh, we could watch it. I know you wanted to watch it. If you could share it and find it and share the screen, we can watch it.
Okay. Should we wait until we finish talking a bit? Or have we, at least this point, what you're saying now?
Yeah. Why the heck are Christian coaching shouldn't he be Christian Gabby Douglas old coach? They used to coach in Canada. I don't know. That's what they do. They just hop around nations, hop around countries, never really get injustice. Like, I don't understand why in the middle of all of the abuse scandals, Valerie was just able to just leave America and go to Brazil. And Mihai was able to just leave America and go to Australia. Like, those were two very valuable coaches that needed to answer lots of questions during that time period. They just was able to leave and now come back like nothing ever happened. And
who is gonna stop them? If it wasn't
the government, I don't know.
It was never gonna be the government.
It definitely wasn't gonna be USA Gymnastics, I can tell you that.
As far as I know, the Christian thing is all alleged. Do you know it to be more than that?
I think there was one because he's not allowed to coach in America. So I think it was something that happened. I'm not sure if it was.
I had no idea about that.
He's not allowed to coach in America. So I'm not sure what it was, but it wasn't. Because y'all know the rumors behind Christian, right? We're not that old show, so I'm not finna like spread a gossip and shit, but you know, allegedly he used to like have very inappropriate relationship with his gymnast, and we're just gonna leave it at that. You can interpret that as you will. So I don't think that's why he got in trouble. I think it was more like yelling at somebody or something like that. Whatever he was accused of, Canada feels comfortable enough with letting him coach there. That's where I'm at. Back to what you were asking me, Oscar. I'm so sorry. Joaquina just was not who she was in 2000. Like, her floor routine sucked.
In 98.
In 98. Her beam routine, I don't think her beam routine had a 10.0 start value. It might have, but it depended on her connections and who was judging, and if they gave her credit for all of those connections, which they shouldn't have.
What did the routine that you put in the video score? Because it looked pretty good.
It was from Worlds. It was a good routine, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying.
But it looked a lot better than her floor did, the floor that you put in.
And that was one of her better floors that year. So I looked hard because when I did that video, I wasn't going to post videos of people falling. So I wanted to try hard to look for times. That's why Pruda Nova was so low on the list in that year. Because, again, Pruda Nova wasn't who she was in 2098. She was still relatively sloppy. Like, if you just look at the videos that I've, and those were like the best videos that I can.
Pruda Nova?
Huh?
Pruda Nova?
Yes.
But she was like winning. She won a medal in 97.
Again, I said we're talking about 98 now. And where she was in 98. She was kind of out of shape in 98. I think, they were talking about her giving up the sport in 98. Like, she just
were the girls out of shape in 98 because they knew there was no Worlds?
I think in 98 for the girls, that was the year for them there was no Worlds. So to try things, to learn these upgrades, to get these routines to a 10.0 start value, to learn skills that they've never, like Pruda Nova, her issue is she was trying to learn how to do a pack. And it took her a while to figure that skill out. Now, about time 2000 came around, it was perfect. But in 98, it was not.
Wait, but was it 90? She was doing the pack in 97, right? Because Kathy Johnson Clark dragged her.
Yeah, it was about the same that she did it in 98. It took her until about 99 for her to do the pack correctly.
The fact that she brought that up at a later competition, that seems so petty to me. And
if you ever was to watch the 1997 Worlds, if everybody wanted to do their, what's the guy name? Is it Ollie or Wally? It's Wally, right? Wally. If you ever, this is a suggestion for your Rob Goddess series, the 1997 World Championships, who should have won the bronze medal because Pruda Nova came in bronze. But Gina Gojian should have been the bronze medalist because Pruda Nova had a horrible, horrible bar routine that scored like a 9.7 out of nowhere. And everybody was just like,
no, I don't think it was as egregious as they made it out to be.
Oh, it was. It was.
I don't.
It was.
She literally covered it. Didn't she do pack straight to clear hip?
Not a handstand over it. Like that routine should have not scored like a 9.7. And she was only doing a double pike at the time, which was a deduction because it was not a D dismount.
You know what? I remember a video and paying really close attention and being like, I disagree, but I can't remember what I disagreed about. I think she deserved her medal, if I am guessing.
And then she did a beam routine that was great, but her connections was just so off. To me, I feel like Gina came in third for their competition behind Joaquina and Amanar.
No, Gina had a mistake.
No,
She had a mistake. She have like a 0.2 wobble or something on floor or something? Or beam?
her
Oh, it
only
was ball.
issue is
Ball, right?
Gina's only issue is her bar routine only started from like a 9.6. But other than that, she had a really great competition that day.
She didn't like bound out of her 1.5. How did she land her ball, Michaela?
I don't really remember. I don't think it was that bad though. How about that's the competition we should rewatch? The 1997 World Championship.
Sure, you don't care that this other channel just covered it?
What other channel?
The one you were just talking about?
Oh, Wally just covered it?
Yeah, I thought we just said that.
I remember him doing beam finals. I don't remember him doing I'm saying he should cover it.
Oh, I thought you were saying that he did cover it.
I'm giving him a suggestion for his Rob Goddess series because I think Gina Gosjian was robbed of the bronze medal. That's how we got into this whole conversation.
I know, but I thought that he did make a video about it.
He might have did because I don't.
It might have been 95 that he did.
Yeah, it definitely. Yeah.
And it was really so entertaining. I'd rather watch. What was it gonna be in 99 or 2000?
I thought we was gonna watch the 98 Goodwill Games.
Oh, the 98 Goodwill Games, or the 97 All-Around Final.
Yeah, whichever one you want to do.
Okay.
I don't think the All-Around Finals in 97 was that long. It might be 30 minutes.
I like watched it last week. I just need to I guess I wish my memory was better than it was. Should we watch that one? The 97?
Yeah.
I'm really happy to watch the Goodwill Games also, if you prefer that.
Neither one of them are that long. I think we could. Hell, I'm bored, and we could watch both. Neither one of them are that long.
Okay. Does it matter what we watch?
Not
like which broadcast?
We just can't play the audio, but we could just, talk over it.
Okay. Because what are you trying to avoid? The commentators' voices?
The background music, that's how you get copyright strikes on your channel. Because they play music in the background that...
In 97?
Yeah, they still had copyrighted music back then, Fred.
But like not the floor music, like the arena music?
Yes, that's how they get you.
I didn't know that they played arena music back then.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Television broadcasts.
Every time you hear a Macarena, bitch, they're coming for your channel. Like,
I'm unfamiliar.
We had the internet in 1997, Fred. Don't get me too much.
Me?
I just joking. Well, we did have the internet in 1997, so people had reasons.
What does the internet have to do with it? I would have guessed that you had the internet in 97.
For the same reason, people would upload shit and then they would copyright your shit and make you take it down.
That type of copyright. Yeah. Appearing in anything.
Mm-hmm.
There are other things. So what did you think about Victoria Listanova's new floor routine?
I still haven't watched it yet. The channel that you suggested to me have me block. I have to go to my burner.
I posted my YouTube channel.
Oh, for real? Oh, well, I haven't saw it yet. I was asleep. Literally, I was asleep. You remember the last time you texted me a text saying, "Oh my gosh, I keep missing your messages on Twitter." Man, I was dead ass asleep at that point in time.
Are we able to watch that routine?
Sure.
Right now?
Yeah.
It's only a minute or whatever.
Okay. So she has new music?
Yes.
Is it better than... I wonder why she waited till the end of the season to debut a new flirting. That's...
I was curious.
Maybe Listen Noble plans on doing the World Cup because that's the last chance for any Russian athletes to win a spot through to the Olympics.
They haven't been denied of going to World Cups?
No, they were denied going to Euros.
I know. I thought that they were denied World Cups way earlier.
I think World Cups are still in play as long as they agree not to compete as a Russian athlete. They have to compete as a neutral something and not wear any Russian colors or anything to do with Russia.
Yes. It's so unclear to me. It should be a lot.
But
I don't know. I don't think it's completely clear to many people at all. I think only a few people who are paying close attention and like reading between the lines, you know? Does it feel that transparent to you?
yeah, because every time I'm like, okay, it is gonna be dead silent, especially if Listanova is the one. Like if it's Melnikova, I think everybody would be okay with it. I'm not saying that she wasn't part of the propaganda. It's just she feels more Americanized. But for whatever reason, for Listanova, just feels like Vladimir Putin's daughter. Like I don't know. Like it just.
What about when Lihi Raz shows up at Euros this year?
Who's that?
She's this Israeli gymnast who has made a bunch of vault finals.
And that's the other issue.
Genuinely curious if you had an answer to that, but we don't have to talk about that because that's a different topic.
Right. I feel like with Israel and Palestine, the way the narrative is being spun in the media and in the world, it's okay what Israel is doing because Palestine attacked them first. Even though I don't necessarily agree with that scenario, but that's just what the world sentiment is. Whereas they feel like Russia attacked Ukraine unprovoked.
Okay. And thus, the Israeli gymnast should be treated differently?
That's not how I necessarily feel, but that's what's going to happen. And yes, America have done stuff that, if we really look at it, possibly could have gotten them banned from the Olympics too. But
I don't think you have to look that hard at it. It just depends on your perspective.
And that was my whole point of view. It just depends on your perspective. Because like as Americans, we look at it as those. It's the same thing with the Israel and the Palestine thing. Is those people attacked us first, and we're retaliating against those attacks. Do the rest of the world necessarily feel this way? Not necessarily. All the rest of the world is like, but girl, it's been like 15 years. Like, well, no, at this point, it's been like 23 years, girl. Like, and you killed Bin Laden, girl. Like, you could stop. So, perspectives.
You ready for this routine?
Yes. Oh gosh, where was I at for this notification? I think it just pops up. Yes, it just pops up.
Can you see my screen?
And it just popped up. I'm trying to get it.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'm trying to get it. There we go.
It looks like it's working. Is it working?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. I was waiting for you to say.
Yeah, it's working. It's working.
Okay.
New emergency crystals. New immune support with a pop. No water needed. Throw it all the way back. To dial-ups and screen names. Throw it back and feel the pop. New emergency crystals.
Man, YouTube is getting out of control with these damn ads, man.
Sorry, I just muted it. What did you say?
I said YouTube is getting out of control with all of these ads.
Well, what is it? How are YouTubers supposed to make money without the ads?
I understand, but still, it has to be some kind of balance.
Oh, I totally agree. It's out of balance.
Everybody,
Can you see?
yeah. What she's doing, a punch front through to a full cushion double back?
I didn't see that.
I mean, I like that her music way better than what she had going on last
I
year.
chose Wix for my business because
The Ghostbusters?
Huh?
The Ghostbusters?
Yes. It makes a lot more sense.
I thought it was really rough on my first view, but now I'm much more impressed by her. But she's always been a good mover, in my opinion. Okay, ready for the competition? It's 43 minutes.
Oh, okay. Which one is this?
The 97 World All Around.
Okay, perfect. I'm waiting on the share my screen thing to come up.
Yeah, sorry, my computer is just.
No, you're good.
I think she's overwhelmed, so she's slow. Can you see?
Yeah.
Okay. Should I fast forward?
Yeah. And in 97, they had so many fluff pieces. So let's just fast forward through to the actual competition in gymnastics.
Yeah. I hope it's not really slow for your viewers, because it's like really choppy. Wow. But how does it look for you?
Yes, slow and choppy.
I could restart my computer and get back on the stream. Should I do that?
Yeah, let's try that.
Okay. Be right back.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. We are working everything out. So, with while we're waiting on that, what else is going on in gymnastics is the NCAA is about to start, and teams are posting their training videos, whatever, and Morgan Hurd is doing a double layout at this competition. Now we don't know if we're gonna actually see a double layout in actual competition. Hell, we don't know if we're actually gonna see Morgan Hurd do events this season. Is doing a double layout at this competition. Now we don't know if we're gonna. We see Leanne, and Leanne is seemingly going back to her Russian style bar routine, where she is going Maloney, Pack, Van Leeuwen. She actually did toe. I'm so sorry. She did toe full Maloney, Pat, Van Leeuwen, which I think that is her goal for the second half of her bar routine. I think the first half of her bar routine looks the same. I think her goal is that as the second part of her bar routine. Florida looks good on beam, but that's what Florida does. Florida looks. I don't like Florida. I don't like these two pass bar routines. I just don't. I never will. That's just my personal preference. Overall, Florida. I don't like in the NCAA how everybody is trying to steal UCLA swagger and create these routines where that's just not your cup of tea. Sometimes, you need to create like regular routines for these girls. And I feel like that is the scenario with our good friends at Florida. Michigan also did an inter squad. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and say I don't like Michigan's gymnastics. They're just not my favorite team in the whole wide world. So I didn't pay that stuff no attention. But their vault lineup looks real strong. I expect to see some tests. I really look forward to Michigan and UCLA and how UCLA is going to help that conference. Even though it's kind of weird that they're in the same conference and they're like on like opposite ends of the country. Like every time Florida has an inter-squad meet, it's going to take not an inter-squad, an inter-conference meet. It's going to take them so long to fly to the part of the country that they have to fly to play in conference. But that's a thing. Let's see if Oscar's back. Oscar is back. Just waiting for him. Hi.
Should we try this one more time? And if it works, great. If it doesn't, we'll give up.
Yes.
Okay, can you see? It looks better for me, but
Yeah, it's moving better.
so when did ABC stop broadcasting Worlds?
After this quad, I think this was the last quad that Worlds was on ABC. Then for a while, it moved over to ESPN before NBC snatched up all the gymnastics rights.
The next quad.
Mm-hmm. No, I think NBC started broadcasting Worlds in 2009 because in the
2001, I don't remember.
I think in 2001 it was on ESPN.
Ah.
In 2003 it was on NBC.
So is that a big deal, that short cast?
I don't think it was a deduction, or it was a deduction, but it wasn't like not something that everybody took a deduction for, because rewatching that quad, a lot of people didn't do casts directly to handstands.
No, definitely, but not everyone was as pathetic as some of them were.
Yeah, some of them were
Okay,
really.
the Chinese girls would really not give anything into their low bar handstands.
Hell, sometimes not even their high bar handstands. Like, Kristen Maloney used to do one of those weird cast things too.
So this was when Dominique was an alternate to the team, didn't even make the team because of her low start values and being out of shape. But here she is in the all-around final. Ooh, that was really precise. So let's pay close attention to Prudnova.
I was just about to say that. So what we're watching is who should have won. Prudnova, who should have came in third? Prudnova or Gina Gaugian? That's what we're
Oh, let's add, there has to be a dark horse also. Who else could it be?
Meng Fei of China.
Okay.
because she came in fifth.
Does Galvia remind you more of Zamo or Prudnova?
She reminds me of Americans, actually. She doesn't remind me of Russian gymnasts.
But that wasn't my question.
Neither if she... Well, I mean, Zamo...
That's definitely a deduction, that landing, right? Not just the low chest, but lifting her leg like that.
Yes.
I would love for you to do, or to learn more of your thoughts on and watch a video where you talk about Maria Olaru. Because that was interesting hearing you talk about how you liked Claudia Pressicon. I always thought she was such a mid gymnast, but like the routines you posted were probably the best I've seen her hit her routines.
In 1998 was Claudia Pressicon's year. She wasn't. I mean, she made it to the 2000 team. Don't get me wrong, but in 1990,
because
I wouldn't say it was her year. It's just all of the girls who came around, like Andrea Rodicon and them, they were still juniors, so she had the opportunity to,
who
do things. Andrea Rodicon, she was a junior in
who
98.
had the opportunity?
Claudia Pressicon.
Oh yeah. Well, in 98, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't know Maria Olaru was a senior in 98.
Yeah, I didn't know either, and I didn't realize how good she was in 98. Like I know how good she was in 99, but yeah.
Why didn't she do as well in 2000s? Or do you think she did really well in 2000?
I'm about to say I think she did really well in 2000. She came in third in the all around.
I know, but she beat the girls who beat her the year before.
The year before, Andrea Rodicon didn't have 10.0 vaults.
Were those legit? Like, did she literally just like, she was good enough that she upgraded her vaults?
Yeah, because
from type to layout is what I meant. Not like adding a twist or anything.
I guess, yeah, because
I just watched 2000 and
in
Monica.
99, she was doing both of those vaults in pipe. So one vault was worth a 9.9, but the other vault was only worth a 9.6.
Yes. So I was so surprised that just making them laid out would help her that much.
Yeah, and that's why they really wanted those laid out vaults.
And they really got them for the Olympics. When you look at the Euros, like Esther Moya, both of her vaults were piked, just like Raducanu, and they were all laid out come Olympics.
Yep.
Sorry, I just paused it because I wanted to know how much you thought should be taken off for this balance check.
0.3, but they gave her 0.1.
She lost so much tension.
I really think it's disrespectful for y'all to compare Simone Biles to people like Jorquina or Nadia Comaneci.
I thought you were about to say Claudia Pressica. There's no like
because yes, Svetlana won a lot of competitions, but she wasn't dominant in those competitions, right? They could have went either way.
funny though, because history has been rewritten for newer gym fans, younger gym fans, to think that she was more dominant than she was because of all her success, on paper. But if you don't know that, like you were saying, how the real best competitor in the final would fall or something.
Correct.
Something
And
like that.
with, well, I think I will compare Nadia Comaneci's career to Gabby Douglas' career. I think it's disrespectful to Simone to compare the two. Yes, Nadia won a lot of competitions too, but she also won a lot of silver medals and a lot of bronze medals and wasn't dominant. Like,
I think the most respectful comparison could arguably be Gina Gojjan.
to Simone Biles?
Just because she has the wins. She has like the most wins of anyone that's not Simone in certain statistics.
Mm.
And she's more of a vault and floor specialist than bars and beam. Yet she still did well on both. I'm not saying it's like.
No, I'm not. I'm looking at what Kristen is doing right now because these vaults was. We talk about the Russians, baby.
If I go into my other tab, can you still watch it?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm already in the other tab. I wanted to read the comments. Tasha K.
That's true too, Johnny. That's true too. Like we talked about earlier before we start watching this, we have to remember Worlds was every other year. It wasn't every single year. So like Simone's first quad, there would be one less world championships for her to even have competed in.
Also, Nadia, Svetlana Boginskaya, Svetlana Korkina, Gina Gojjan, all had to do compulsories.
Very true. Also, all of those names, plus I'm going to add Shannon Miller, I'm going to add Dominique Dawes, I'm going to add Andrea Rodicon, I'm going to add Simona Arminar, I'm going to add you could only get 10 points. You couldn't win by doing the hardest routine and fall in. You could only get 10 points. So that's something else to take into consideration too. I'm not trying to shit on Simone's accomplishments. Trust and believe. I'm not. I'm just saying you can only get 10 points.
They have Meng Fei, Miss Dowds, Olga Teslenko. Who do you prefer personally, Olga Teslenko or Lyubov Sheremeta?
Olga Teslenko.
What's her best piece?
Floor and beam.
In which year?
I don't bars either.
You think floor in 2000?
I'm thinking you're talking about here.
This is 97, sorry. 97, her floor was a lot stronger.
I think she was one of the few gymnasts that actually have a 10.0 start value on floor at this time.
Oh, I think you're 100% right, actually. So what was hurting her so much by the end of the quad?
Vault.
I just watched her Olympic floor from quads and team, and she was getting like super low, but she was landing her first pass completely out of bounds also. You ready to keep going?
Yeah. Now we also have to remember the Americans. The Americans. We're just not even going to talk about them because they just. I think our top girl was Kristen Maloney, and I think she finished in 12th.
Vanessa Atler was supposed to be a first year, but the rules were changed 2 years in a row in her disfavor, right? Is that a
Yeah. They changed the rules where after 96, you had to be 16 to make it through to Worlds. Vanessa was still 15, but the year before, she was old enough, she was a senior. So in hindsight, Steve Rybecki should have kept Vanessa and Jamie as juniors in 97. She shouldn't have made her senior debut until 98, Vanessa and Jamie, because they were still too young technically to compete for Worlds. But because
domestically?
Huh?
You mean domestically? I didn't really understand that Vanessa competed as a senior domestically in 97.
Yes, they should have kept them as juniors in 97.
I thought that they did. But she was was she national champion that year?
Yes.
What a joke.
I think because both Vanessa, because they didn't do a world trials that year. They picked a world team based on world championships. I mean national championships.
Why did I think that was Shushanova?
Both Vanessa and Jamie Danger would have made the 97 team. They just were too young because of the rule changes.
I didn't know about Jamie. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think Vanessa and Jamie are like the same age, like 2 weeks apart.
But you think Vanessa's a better gymnast all around potential?
No, actually, I think Jamie was always their better gymnast. They just could not give two shits about Jamie Danger because they had Vanessa Atler.
Oh, okay. Okay. They were both parquets? No.
Whatever the Rybeckis were, they were at the Rybeckis.
So who coaches the parquets?
Bill and Donna Strauss.
Thank you. Sorry.
Kristen Maloney was a parquet.
Right. Can I? Oh, did you edit any of the routine videos?
Huh?
Did you edit any of the routines that you put in that video?
Yeah, because some of the routines they were doing, like, especially like Maria Olaru on Beam, they kept showing like the judges doing scores instead of her routines. So I just edited that shit out.
What do you mean her scores?
Like, while she was doing her routine, the camera was literally showing the judges calculating her scores. And I guess in Romanian, they were talking about score calculations.
That routine was like really, honestly, those were like, I already knew she had a really like a 10.0 beam routine, but that routine, that performance, she hit all the connections so cleanly, I thought. And I also, wasn't that bar routine, by at least today's standards, much more difficult than her Olympic one?
Or I think she did that same routine, just in a different order.
Is that true?
Because I think in 98 she was doing she would jump up to the high bar, do a kip half, Pike Jaeger, Pat Soto, 1.5 turn through to a Tkachev, through to her double front half, I think in 2000 she just did it opposite. I think she started off on high bar. I mean, she would jump to the high bar, half, 1.5 to Kachev, then do her pat, and then do her half kip height Jaeger, and then do her double front half. I just think I think she changed her dismount from a double front half to a full end too.
She did 1.5 pike Jaeger. Okay, so that's what I didn't understand, that she was doing piked Jaeger into pack in 97. She didn't do a pack out of her Jaeger in 2000 or 99. No. I don't think.
I think she was doing it. I think she was doing Tkachev pack at that point.
Yes, she did. You're right. I think Jaeger to pack is much more impressive. But that might be because less people do it.
Very true.
She did the full out.
Mm-hmm. Because before she was doing a double front half.
Did you?
The wolf turn of that year was the Shushanova. They was doing them Shushanovas. Man, it was chunky. They were doing a regular Shushanova. Shushanova half. Shushanova full. Shushanova 1.5. It was crazy.
Bitch, and on beam too.
Yes.
They were doing Shushanova, and then what do you call it when you circle the beam?
Your Chinko loop.
Isn't that when you dive though? Into it, like backwards?
I think anytime you loop the beam, it's your Chinko loop.
Maybe some people say it's a clear circle.
Some people, I mean, technically that's what it is. Yeah, this is probably my favorite Svetlana Khorkina routine. Her music, her presentation, like.
Definitely today, but it wasn't always.
No, but I'm talking about this particular routine.
I think her event finals was so much better than this.
I'm talking about this particular floor music. She only used it once.
Oh yeah,
so.
I was saying that I agree, but I wouldn't have. In the past, I would have said, "Oh, I actually prefer her like 2000 routine or 96."
I used to like her 2000 routine more. Okay, and this is another reason why I don't think Prudhanova should have beaten Gina Gozhan. These vaults was horrible.
Zouk Arabian with a big leg split and a soggy back. Okay, how could that, like, what is that starting out of? That's a 9.6 vault?
9.8. It was worth the same as Yurchenko 1.5.
I thought you said earlier that it went from 9.9 to 9.6.
I'm thinking you're talking about out of the Yurchenko start. Out of the Suka Heart.
Right, you're right. I was treating them like they were the same. Sorry.
No, they're not. Can y'all believe that wolf jump with a half turn was a D in this quota points, and a wolf turn with a full turn was an E in this quota points? Well, I agree with the wolf turn with a full, but the wolf half should have been a C.
I'm not mad at that because I know the girls would be falling on those wolf jump halves today. Like, I really am so sure that the girls would be falling on those wolf jump halves.
On being?
Yes.
I wouldn't mind them upgrading that to like a C skill because I think it's a B. Because I would love to see like a punch front through to a wolf half.
I think that makes perfect sense because like a split jump with a half turn is a C.
Mm-hmm.
Go Gina.
Justice for Gina Gozhan.
I thought you don't like Gina.
No, Gina Gozhan is one of my. It's just her routines, I mean, her gymnastics wasn't like the most exciting gymnastics in the world, but Mama did what she had to do.
Do you think that you'll ever make like a list of your favorite Romanian gymnasts?
You asked me this before. I would have to really think about it because Romania never was my team. So I never focus. I'm a more of a Russian, China, American stan. So
Me too, but that's why it's fun to like appreciate the Romanian gymnasts I do like. That's how I see it. And
yeah, the Americans was doing so bad. NBC had to do a fluff piece of what happened to the damn Magnificent Seven girl because these girls are doing sucky.
What's the highest rated element on being not a dismount? A layout with a full twist.
Yes. The highest rated dance skill is any E skill because that's the highest rated skill you can get.
Should we name
But
them all? Let's go back and forth, you, me, and until one of us can't name one.
Okay.
I'll start.
Go ahead.
A Torjete half.
A ring leap. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. A switch ring leap.
The Sugihara turn, which is the double Y turn.
An Okino turn, which is the triple turn in relevant.
The Memo turn, triple wolf.
Mitchell.
Oh gosh, is that what I said?
You said memo, but you meant Mitchell. The waivers, double L turn. I could think of two more.
Oh, good. Okay. There should be a time because I'm thinking, but I want to come on. Oh gosh, it's probably something very like I was about to say esoteric, but I don't know if that would make like a 1.5 turning jump or something like that. That's what I'm thinking of.
And laid out is a D and tuck is an E if you tuck it.
And no one's even tried like a wolf jump or something.
A wolf jump 1.5? No. Okay. I don't know what it's called. But the girls used to do it.
Sideways jump. Is it a sideways jump? Like a
yes. It's gonna be
Opa sideways.
Well, it hasn't been submitted in the code of points yet, but I'm pretty sure that's gonna be an E. But the jump that I'm thinking of is a Johnson with a half turn, which is a.
Oh, that's such a good one. The Bulimar without a half turn or quarter turn or whatever.
Yeah, on beam though. The Johnson with a half turn.
That's one of my favorite leaps, and
I wish more people would do it, but I understand they're like, yeah, it's not worth it. But I think it's
the best one.
Tasha Schweiker used to do a great one. Jordan Weaver.
Elise Ishina's.
I don't remember what her looked like. So
it might have been Tabitha Yim that I'm thinking of. She had a really nice one.
Jordan Weaver had a good one too for a while. I wish she would have added that back to her routine instead of that weird ass.
I think it was sketchy, but I could look at it again with new eyes.
It was okay. I mean,
Remember
it was.
Jay did it.
Jay Carey?
Yes, in 2018 and 19 or whatever.
I don't remember.
Oh my god, you need to go watch that. That was the yeah. I have.
I think Jordan Charles should try to learn it because it's still an E.
I think it's a deduction trap, and it's like not easy for the girls.
Oh, it's not easy at all. But I mean,
Like, I think it's so much. I mean, it really just depends on who you are as a gymnast, because it's not like Jordan is finding triple wolf turns easy on beam. So
Johnny, that's easy. Jordan Weaver's strongest event was vault.
but okay, was she better at beam or floor?
Floor, definitely.
What about her, like, all around beam routine at Worlds that got like a 15-2?
Overscored.
I think it was possibly a bit, but it was really like impressive also. I don't know.
It was a good routine.
I'm not saying it was her best, like I mentioned that one because it was her highest international beam score, I think, at like a Worlds and Olympics.
Hey, ask her coaches, Johnny. They didn't give a damn enough to teach her a second vault.
I feel like people thought vault medals were dirty, or being like a vaulter. Vault.
I think so too. I think up until Michaela Maroney, and this is a real conversation. Maybe I could do a video about it. Up until Michaela Maroney, didn't nobody give a damn about vault. Vault was like, for America, not for other countries, but they were like, oh,
that's cute, Alicia.
That's cute. That's cute. They treated vault the way they treat men's pommel horse. It's like, that's cute, but that's not real gymnastics. You're just doing one thing.
Is that why Vanessa Aller was underappreciated, undervalued?
Because, especially back then, that's why they focused so hard on bars, because they needed her to be an like, unless she was an all-arounder, it was like a wash. And then once they changed the rule to you only had to do one vault, why would you learn a second vault? I want to be the Olympic all-around champion, not the Olympic vault champion.
They changed that rule in the year
2001. Well, no. I think the first year that they used the you only had to do one vault rule was in 2003.
We just missed her bar routine.
Who? Oh no, we have to rewind that one, friend. We have to rewind that because that's important.
I am.
Okay.
So those are L grip?
Mm-hmm. Oh, come on, friend. That was bad.
I just think it was not. It didn't offend me. How over that she was that.
And then she's only doing a double pike dismount.
Okay, that I feel like I don't appreciate how big of a deal that was at that time. Because now it's not that. It's not been that big of a deal even. I mean, Zhang Nan won an Olympic bronze medal with a double pike. Like, I don't know. I feel like I grew up with people doing double pikes. Can you try to like articulate how big of a deal it was back then? Because we don't have Kathy Johnson Clark's commentary.
Back then, there was no you had to dismount with a certain level of difficulty dismount, but the rule was that your dismount had to be at the same level as the rest of your routine. Clearly, that double pike was not at the same level as the rest of that routine.
Wasn't it that there was a deduction in the code or the rules for your dismount not being as difficult as the routine's contents?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how much the deduction was though, so I'm not gonna lie to you. But I know it was a deduction that your dismount wasn't at the same level as the rest of your routine.
But I was just trying to figure out if it technically was like it was more of a subjective thing. Even
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Now, the biggest travesty of this code of points of them raising the start value, not the start value, raising the difficulty level of the double pike, because it made the full twisting double bat skill in this code of points basically extinct, because a full twisting double tuck was a E. I mean, was a D. A full twisting double pike was a D, but also a double pike was a D.
But what about the Olympics? Everyone was dismounting with the full in. Sorry, the Olympic floor final.
Well, it was only two people, and that was Zamo and Aminar. I mean, and they are extraordinarily powerful. Everybody else was doing double pikes, friend. Or triple twist. But triple twist was a E at that point. And you didn't really have to complete a triple twist. I think if you did 2 3/4, they gave you credit for it.
Someone did whip to double pike.
Because doing a whip to double pike gave you a 0.2 under that code of points. Because a double pike was a D, a 2.5 was a D. So imagine people. So that's how they was getting that 0.5. They was getting a 0.2 for the whip to a double pike or a 2.5. Then they was getting another 0.2 for doing the 2.5 through to a punch front, and they was getting a 0.1 for doing those 3 skills in combination. That's how they was getting a 0.5.
Oh, this is a topic that interests me a little. That doing a round off backhand spring, whip backhand spring, double pike is the same as a whip to immediate double pike, is the same as round off whip backhand spring double pike.
So your question is, under this code of points, did it matter what position your whip back was in?
This one we're watching and today.
So the way it is now, if you did a single whip back and then your next skill was a back handspring, it would wash the whole series. You would have to do 2 whip backs into a back handspring to get the 0.1. Back then, I think you had to do just 1 whip back, and you could either do 1 back handspring or 2 back handsprings and still get the 0.1. If you did a whip back directly into the skill, I think it was a 0.2. I think if you did like a round off back handspring, whip back, back handspring.
There was Gina's vault. It was good. You were right. There was Gina's vault. It was good, and you were right. She landed it well.
So yeah, whip backs is a very tricky thing, because it really does depends on where you place the whip backs at in order to determine how much connection you are going to get.
Can you talk about Flavia? Because she did a whip back in when she ended with a full in, and then she also did into a double layout.
I think both skills, both ways, gets her a 0.2. I think if you do the whip back immediately into a E skill or higher, it gets a point too. I think Simone should do a whip back into her bows. I think that's how she fixes her out of bounds issue.
But in an immediate one? So just round off whip or round off that handspring whip?
Whichever feels more comfortable to her, but round off back handspring whip through to her bows. Not her triple double, you guys. Her double layout with a half.
Has anyone ever done a tumble that like landed forwards and then rebounded flipping backwards? Yes, triple twist forwards to back tuck.
But that's not landing forward. What I'm thinking of is like a Arabian double front immediate into a back tuck. Here go this being routine.
I was thinking Biles to back layout step out.
No, I've never seen nobody do that. A whip into a double would be impressive, but I'm more impressed with her front through layout full through to her double. Like that's something I never thought that even Simone could do. So yeah, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed.
Me too. That was such a gift. Who is she up against?
Kudanova?
Yeah.
Gojian?
Gojian. Who cares?
So I mean, like you see this being routine, it's cute, but I think the damage was done on vault and on bars.
Yeah, I totally agree.
A front through front. I think Jocelyn Robertson is working on that.
Yeah, like apparently she did it like with her coach at nationals, I think.
I mean, that dismount was great, but it should have not beaten Gina Gojian.
Yeah, I think you're right. But my younger self like didn't feel that way. Emotionally, I wanted to give it to Pernova.
People don't like Gina's gymnastics. I get it. It's kind of boring. She doesn't do the hardest tricks that you can do, but
well, because she used to do a lot harder stuff. Like people only want to talk about the end of her career.
And this was the end of Gina Gojian's career. This was the last hurrah. She was like, baby, I'm not trying to hold on to no damn Sydney. Like, y'all lucky I came to this bitch right here. Like,
you're lucky that I trained bars. Kept training bars.
You lucky I put on these goddamn, were they even using grips?
These gauze.
You lucky I threw these gauzes together because baby. And here is when Svetlana Horkina was like, wow, to me, like.
You had never seen her like this before?
Hmm?
You had never seen her in this way before?
No, like, I'm like, wow, like.
She is an all-arounder.
It took me so long for me to understand what the hell that was.
Same. I don't even. Yeah.
Because the way she does it is not the technique that anybody uses in 2023. It's like she almost
It keeps her legs in straddle, or what do you mean?
she doesn't. It's like she doesn't even flip. It's like she almost like throws her body. I don't know how this. It's like she's. It's like the way she does her Kina is like a reverse Yeshua.
Not
Like
much.
she never does the Shapash Nakova. She never starts off in the Shapash. She just goes from the clear hip to the half turn, and it's like, I mean, it's her.
She's just so stable, pirouetting and in their handstands.
Brava Queen. Wow.
It's so crazy that she was gonna be world champion twice, 2 more times, but the next time it would take like 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's so long.
Because everybody think of Horkina and think this was her quad, but this really wasn't her quad. Her quad was the following quad, her final quad.
No, completely. Like, she did well. Not as well as she could have this quad, the rest of the squad.
Mm-hmm.
Because she did as well as she could have here, obviously. But, like, that's such a crazy feat to me. That 20 years ago, she did that. She became world champion and then it'd be like Melnikova, kind of. Like, people would be like, oh, she was world champion 2 years ago or 3 years ago. And then 4 years ago, she kept going. And then for her to win it again in that year, that would be such a mind fuck to me. Or I can't comprehend that. And then again 2 years later. Or 1 year later. Did you see that Melnikova competed?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, she did. There's videos. Stop sharing. Did it end? Did we see the results?
It ended. The results was, I am tired. The results was Horkina won. Simona Armanar came in second place, and Pudanova came in third. Gina Gojian was fourth, and Meng Fei from China was fifth.
Dang. Kristen, 13th. Dominique was 14th. Now the good old games.
Let's save that for tomorrow if you feel like doing it tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Perfect. With that being said, I'm kind of exhausted and I'm ready to get off. So, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Not right now. Let's let you lead. Let's get off.
Perfect. Thank you everybody for getting the channel over 900 subscribers. We're so close to the 1,000 subscribers now. So it's really important that you share the channel and you subscribe and you interact with the channels and the videos now on our final push. Like, share, and subscribe, like, share, and subscribe, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys for the super chat. Keep them coming, shoot. What else? We'll be posting more shorts. Oscar, where can they find you at, my love?
Thank you. You can find me at Catfish Crenshaw with K's on Twitter and YouTube. Thanks for having me.
Oscar also posts gymnastic content, so you should follow his channel as well.
Thank you.
And with that being said, I love you guys, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye. Bye, friend.
Bye. Good night.